Hello up, Cherries fans, and welcome to the latest in our opposition previews. Following our 0-0 draw with Swansea at the Liberty Stadium, we return to Dean Court to face a Huddersfield Town side in fine form, with their latest victory on Tuesday, beating Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 at home. Now today, I've got a very special guest, a player who is a legend for the Terriers, a club who he grew up supporting and playing with in two different spells, with a career spanning from 1992 to 2009, with a number of promotions with the club. He played a total of 393 games, whilst also scoring 137 goals for the club. And he also spent 5 years with Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League, scoring 28 goals. It is a pleasure to welcome to back of the net, Andy Booth. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you.
And you, Craig? I'm doing very well, thank you.
Excellent, good stuff. So you're currently club ambassador at Huddersfield. What does that role entail?
It's quite a busy role actually, and a role that I'm lucky to have. Thoroughly enjoy it. It's, as I say, it's all completely different every day. Some days I'm working with the commercial department, with the sponsors, the box holders of the club. Other days I'm working with our town foundation. I've got to admit, I do a lot in the community. So I work a lot with our town foundation. We have local other charities that we try and raise awareness for, and obviously important funds. I go into schools to talk about my career, to talk about all different kind of things. Whatever really the teacher wants me to try and get over to the students, to the pupils. So it is very, very varied. Today I've been we usually have obviously hospital visits with all the players, and unfortunately, due to the COVID situation, the players are not allowed to visit today. So I've just been in and around the hospitals delivering the presents, and then we'll be sorting messages out from the players to the children that are in there. So, as I say, every day is different, but I'm so lucky to have a role that I love, and to be involved with a club that I supported, like you said, and obviously lucky enough to play for.
Yeah, most definitely. So moving on to this weekend's game. So Huddersfield at the moment are in pretty good form, winning 3 of the last 4. What was the aim for the club this season?
I think if we're honest, if we could have got mid-table, we'd have been absolutely highly delighted. Obviously, Carlos has come in at the beginning of the season. He didn't have very long to turn it around. I think he only had, obviously, it was a short, close season anyway, due to how long the season lasted last year. So we knew we're going to take him a while. We did. Good rumours from him, obviously, coming from Leeds, coming under from Bielsa at Leeds, working with such another fantastic manager. But you never know when it's somebody's first time as managing the club. So I think if you'd have spoken to the fans, the chairman, the directors, we said if we're mid-table, we'd be highly delighted. And I don't think it could have gone any better this season. We had a slow start and we struggled at the beginning, but these last 2 months, you've seen a massive change in the team, in where Carlos wants them to play. They play some good football. They play quick passing. They're getting up the field quickly. They've got men in the box. They're scoring goals, which we've struggled for over the last last couple of seasons. So we're an exciting team to watch. And that's down to Carlos. And again, his work ethic. And I was just talking to the kit man this week, and I was asking him how good Carlos was, and he told me he puts him ahead of David Wagner, which obviously David, as the football club, is an absolute legend for the football club. But for the kit man to put him alongside him and above him, then we could be quite lucky, and we're quite optimistic this year. Top 10 finish would be fantastic. A top half finish would be fine, and then we'll build on it for next season. I think he's made 2 or 3 good signings in the summer as well. So he didn't have very, very, very long to see what he needed. He brought in Naby Sarr at the back, which has he's made the defence more solid. Carol Heiting from Ajax in the midfield, who took him a few weeks to settle in, but now he's a regular and he's commanding the midfield. And then we've got Pippa, who's a Spanish under-21 signing, the fullback, and it bombs forward, and he sometimes is more of the attacking player than sometimes the strikers, and the right, well, they're not wingers anymore. So we're quite an exciting team to watch, and if we can bring in 2 or 3 more players like we have done in the January transfer, then you never know where we could finish.
What sort of formation does he play, Andy?
It changes. It changes it, and I think on Tuesday when we played down at QPR, played against QPR Saturday, and then we played against. Oh, my mind's gone. I can talk about 1994, but I can't think who we played against. We beat. My mind's gone. I can't think who we played on Tuesday. Sorry about that.
One of your former clubs.
Sheffield Wednesday was. I'm showing me age now. I can remember 25 years ago, but 2 days ago, I can't even remember. So obviously from the QPR game, he only made 1 change, and I think he usually changes about 4 or 5 players every game. So the formations and players, I couldn't really tell you, because sometimes he plays as a 3, sometimes he plays as a 4, a 5. We do have a few injuries, so I don't know how they are, but I know the last couple of weeks probably the amount of games we've played has taken its toll. So we've got 2 or 3 lads that are injured, so maybe that'll change his starting lineup. But we've got a good thing as well. We've got a few young lads, and it's given them a chance to play as well and have a go and show us what they can do. So there's quite a lot of positives, even though there's been a couple of lads injured. But changing the system, changing the formations, it brings some of these young lads in as well to see how good they are. And I think sometimes with the young lads, with no fans in the stadium, it's sometimes easier to make your debut, to settle in, because there's nobody there to, if you have a bad game or make a few mistakes, sometimes you hear the fans, even if it's a debut, they don't give you much time. But with no fans there, you can make a few mistakes and not get away with it, but still have 2 or 3 games to get into it. So I think that's the only positive with no fans out for the younger lads, just to be able to ease their way into first team football.
And you've still got Christopher Schindler in the side, who scored that winning penalty in the 2017 playoff final at Wembley to take Huddersfield to the Premier League. How important has his experience been for the rest of the team, seeing as they are quite a young side?
It's been massive. Chris has been the captain, and ever since he came, he's been a leader on the pitch, but also off the pitch. You won't believe what a nice is it. Well, such a gentleman. He'll talk to anybody. He'll give anybody the time of day. But then you see him on the pitch, and some tackles he flies in with, and he's defensive, and he heads everything that's going. It's just like a different character, but very important to the young lads as well. Jonathan Oggie's been playing every game as well, and to have them two, who are obviously 30 plus, have been in the Premier League, was in the Championship before, and it's funny now. You can, when there are no fans, you can hear them talking, and you can hear Oggie, you can hear Shindy talking to the young lads, talking them through the game, and it's a massive help. And two great players to have in your side, and the experience they've got, and how good of footballers they still are as well. The work rate, the effort they've still put in is a credit to them both, because they work so hard, and it helps the team. And it must be Chris. Obviously, when we went down in the Premier League, it could have been so easy for him to go back to Germany, but no, he stayed, and he's been a great example to all the young players, and to the other players that are coming up.
And one former Terrier that's in the Cherries team is Phillip Billing. How was his time at Huddersfield?
Do you know what? Phillip is a fantastic player. I've been around the academy, and I've seen quite quite a lot of him, and I've seen him grow up. He came as a 15-year-old lad, and he was still 6'2", 6'3" then, and he's grown. But what a fantastic player! We played against Manchester City just the year before we went up, and he'd only just started coming in the team then, and he absolutely ran the show. We were playing at the Etihad, and he was just head and shoulders above everybody. And Man City, to be fair to him, had the full side on, and he just ran it. And a great ball player. He's got speed. He don't look like he just glides for me. And I was sad to see him go. It'd been nice for him to stay at Huddersfield another couple of years, because it was growing into a fantastic player. But obviously, Bournemouth came calling, and it was a chance for him to get back in the Premier League. So I totally understand why he came down to Bournemouth. But it's been, especially when he's come through the youth system as well, it's always nice to see somebody doing so well. And yeah, Phillip did well for Huddersfield, and I'm sure he'll continue to do well for Bournemouth.
Yeah, most definitely. And he has been, his performances in the last two games have been very, very good, especially against Barnsley. He was fantastic. And against Swansea the other day as well, he did very, very well. I've got to put you on the spot, like I always do, Andy, to all my guests. How do you think it's going to go this weekend?
With my head on my heart. With my heart, I'd love, obviously, a Huddersfield win. But I've got to admit, I'm going to sit on the fence. And we've been scoring goals, even away from home. We've been scoring some goals. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And if we can get a draw and take a point back up to Yorkshire, we'd be very happy. So, because Bournemouth obviously have been doing so well over the last couple of months, and it's never an easy place anyway. They're a good side, and we know it's going to be difficult. I said we've got a couple of injuries, so it's going to be tough. So if we can come home with a point, so I'd be very happy with a 2-2 draw.
Well, many thanks. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today, Andy. So thank you for joining me on Back of the Net ahead of Saturday's game, and all the very best for the season.
Cheers, Craig. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. Thank you, Andy.
Cheers. Thank you.